some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man will go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Marcellus.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin? my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I got...
Nobody knows why liars lie. Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history. It's God's side and the other side. Country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over cabbage and look like Mr. Potato Head.
I didn't want to be a movie star.
No, you couldn't be a movie star. Ricky Smiley can't act. Cause Ricky Smiley can't act. Why is he in a dress again? He didn't be wanting to Barbie. And you gotta tell him no. Sid ain't got no special, you remember? Eve ain't got no special, you remember? Ricky ain't got no special, you remember? Sir, I have 12 comedy specials. P. Diddy or whoever you is. TVJ, 20 of them. I won't stop burning you down until there ain't nothing left. Rubble on top of rubble and I'll still be bombing. Look like a wall, Richard. Look like a wall. You didn't say no. Look like a wall, Richard. Look like a wall. You didn't say no.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is another dose of your daily vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Exit stage left. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get into it. Because there is bad news, very bad news. Hold on, let me just get this pulled up real quick. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry, I forgot to put an overlay up here. So that's what we're about to do. I'm about to get this overlay together. All right, so everyone, please go ahead and like and share this video. Remember, it doesn't cost you a single thing. But for all of you who contribute to the channel and send me my cash apps and all of that, I definitely appreciate you. Okay, so let's get into this story because this is all so sad. First of all, we're going to talk about Marcellus Williams, a Black man who was executed today, even though there was evidence that pretty much had people, basically even the prosecutors felt like he was innocent. The prosecutors didn't want him executed, but so the Supreme Court ruled that it was just perfectly fine for them to go ahead and end his life. Now, you all see, I want you all to pay attention because you all see how my music automatically, when it stopped, the mic is automatically on. Okay? It unmuted itself. So just for y'all that think the queen be making excuses when I tell y'all that I forgot to do it or what have you, or that it's supposed to do it by itself. Okay, so let's get into it. Buckhorst, DC, just anticipate. Lillian X, Wavy Though, Most Hated Bronze Flat Power God, Claudette, Swift. All right, Andrea. So let's get into it. Support the arts with your nefarious self. Support the arts. Listen, I know why you're here. You're here because you saw Kabami's name in the title. I've done 3 lives on the main channel and I haven't seen Support the Arts all day. Now here we are. Hey, Lillian X. Lillian told me to do a night broadcast, so here we are, Lillian. Okay, now I had to get that Diddy news out post-haste. Hey, Deronda. Reggie's in the house and never excuses the queen be working hard. Thank you, beloved. See, I love Reggie. Reggie's so sweet. These darn gnats. Okay, so let's get into it. Hold on, I got my spray because it's a gnat running around here rapping. It's getting on my last nerve. Hey, Fred Dot. So let's get into it. With that all being said, hold on. It's on my screen. There it is. I know this is all so ghetto, but I cannot stand gnats. So I literally just killed it with that spray. Hold on. Let me clean this off now. Well, I was ready for it. Okay, so you all please pay attention. All right, so with that all being said, Nettie said, you good, Queen. Okay, I have to get rid of that gnat, honey. I can't stand gnats. All right, or flies. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about it because they said even the prosecutors didn't want this man killed, but yet the Supreme Court went ahead and allowed the execution to go forward. And it reminds me of the case of what was the man's name? Troy Anthony Davis. Do you guys remember him? That man was innocent and they killed him too. Okay, so just also sad. So let's get into it. I'm going to go to a video. I'm going to go to a video report, and then we're going to talk about some details of the case. So likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm about to pull this up, and then while y'all are watching this, I can finish cleaning this spray off my screen. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Ads. We are now under an hour away from the execution of Marcellus Williams in Bonne Terre. The Supreme Court just moments ago allowed Missouri to proceed with its plan and has just rejected 2 separate appeals. The convicted killer has maintained his innocence, leading to a host of legal maneuvers. Fox 2's Jeff Bernthal is live outside of the prison right now with what we're learning about those preparations that are now underway. Jeff.
Yeah, Mandy, those efforts, as you mentioned, to spare his life have continued right up until this very hour here. Williams convicted of the 1998 murder of Felicia Gale. The state of Missouri, though, now moving forward as they prepare for this execution scheduled to take place soon after 6 p.m. Now, there have been demonstrations taking place in other parts of the state, as well as this demonstration in downtown St. Louis today. The victim in this case, a former St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter, was stabbed 43 times, according to investigators. In University City, a memorial still stands for the victim. It appears there were fresh flowers on that marker today. Police said Williams was committing a break-in and Gale was stabbed as she interrupted the crime. It took months and a reward offer to generate tips that led to Williams' arrest. A lack of DNA evidence, questions over witness testimony, and concerns over racial bias were all factors raising doubts. But investigators say critical testimony from Williams' girlfriend was delayed because she feared for her life, saying she was threatened by Williams. Governor Mike Parson denied a request for clemency, saying Williams had a robust criminal history and was found with the items stolen from the victim. Here's what one death penalty opponent told us this afternoon.
I oppose killing.
Can you tell me why?
I don't want to live in a society where killing seems to be the response to when people do bad things. We have a governor who calls himself pro-life, but he wants to kill.
A spokesperson for the Department of Corrections shared with us a final statement from Williams. It reads, "All praise be to Allah in every situation," followed by 3 exclamation points. Now, the corrections spokesperson also telling us that Williams was given his final meal at 10:53 this morning, and it included chicken wings and tater tots. The spokesperson said that Marcellus Williams will have a religious leader with him and a mom who was also his last visitor as the state of Missouri prepares to carry out this execution soon after 6 o'clock. Reporting live from Bonne Terre, Jeff Bernthal, Fox 2 News.
Picture.
Okay, so very sad. And Support the Arts says that's why we don't need Trump in office, because he put 3 conservatives in the Supreme Court. Well, here's the thing, beloved. Who was in office when Troy Anthony Davis was executed? Let's take a look. See, I'm pretty sure it was a Democrat. Okay. Hold on while I do my research real quick. So Troy Anthony Davis was Troy Anthony Davis was executed in 2011 when Obama was in office. So I'm sorry, beloved. It doesn't matter who's in office at the end of the day. The problem is that, first of all, he was found guilty by a biased jury, And then when the prosecutors, said they didn't want the man to die, well, people still set the things in motion because the governor could have granted him clemency. And then it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. So that was the last step. Okay?
Hey, Leon. Hey, M. Shanty. Most hated. I already spoke to you. Okay, Myth King the Dean. All right, Kajima. So let's get into it. So support the arts. Please sit down somewhere trying to defend Kabami again. Now, I haven't even started to go into Kabami. Support the arts. Are you going to give the queen a chance to roast her first? It says yes, but Obama put in liberal justices compared to the current court. Okay, but my point is exactly, but here's my point. So it doesn't matter if it's conservatives or liberals. They still found a black man innocent or guilty and allowed him, or they still allowed a black man who was likely innocent to be executed. Liberals that Obama put in. So then how can you say conservatives that Trump put in allowed this man to be killed? It's the same. It's the same difference. It's all I'm saying. It's the same difference. Now let's talk about it because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Missouri execute Marcellus Williams despite prosecutors' push to overturn the conviction because they thought that man was innocent. It's a damn shame and a travesty of justice. Okay, I want you all to really marinate on this. Do you think they would have done this had he not been a person of my skin tone? I'm sorry, I want to put race into everything, but in the United States, race is almost in everything. They say we play the black card, but that's the only card they give us. Okay? So anyway, Williams has long maintained his innocence, and the killing was opposed by the victim's family, the jurors, and office that tried him. The victim's own family didn't even want the man killed. And that's rare. Because when Troy Anthony Davis, despite the pleas of innocence, despite people pointing the finger at the person who was likely the real killer, in fact, who was the same person who went down there to the police precinct and lied on Troy Anthony Davis, well, the family still wanted him dead. They didn't care. And so some people just don't care. They just want revenge. They don't care who has to get the consequences. But in this case, the family of the victim didn't even want this man killed. So Missouri executed a man on death row on Tuesday, despite objections from the prosecutors who sought to have his conviction overturned and have supported his claims of innocence. It's also said. Marcellus Khalifa Williams, age 55, was killed by lethal injection, ending a legal battle that has sparked widespread outrage as the office that originally tried the case suggested he was wrongfully convicted. Lord have mercy. This is really so triggering for me because I'm going to tell you all right now. You see, this is why I'm not for the death penalty ever under no circumstance. And I was just telling my dear sister, Lisa Cabrera, earlier when we were talking about this case, that when I was in college for criminal justice, I opposed the death penalty then, and I oppose it now. So during my capstone review, where I had to give a presentation to graduate before a board of like 4 of my professors, my thing was about the capital punishment, how I'm against it. And so when I was laying out my argument, then one of my professors who worked in law enforcement, who was also the chairperson of the criminal justice department, she said to me, so you are in the criminal justice field. You want to work in criminal justice, but you don't have faith in the criminal justice system? And I told her, no, I absolutely don't. And that's why I want to work in it. Because first of all, I want to teach Black people the law as it pertains to being accurate, because many Black people don't know the law. That's why I wanted to go to school for it, first of all, so I would know the law. Because when you don't know the law, that's how they violate your rights, and you don't even really know it, or you just feel helpless because you don't know what to say. Like cops who pull you up on the side of the road and all kinds of nefarious things they do when they end up shooting some Black person saying that they fear for their lives when they didn't, clearly. But aside from all of that, the reason I've always been against it is because, as I've always said, the people who are targeted disproportionately for the death penalty would be Black people and other minorities, but specifically Black people and poor people. So you can be a poor white person and get the death penalty because you cannot afford adequate counsel. But at least you may get a little bit more sympathy and empathy because of the color of your skin. If you're a white person, and you may be able to get it appealed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Be granted clemency by the governor. But it's usually Black people. Even in the state of Pennsylvania, where they say that at least back when I was in college, I don't know what it is now, I haven't checked, but at least at the time when I was in college, in the state of Pennsylvania, where the prison population was about 80% Black, I do believe. No, I'm sorry. No, that's wrong. When the population was about 80% white. They had a very high rate of Black prisoners, and Black people were disproportionately the ones on death row. And another thing about capital punishment is it does not act as a deterrent. Now, they initially put executions in place so that it would deter people from committing crimes, specifically the crime of murder. But that doesn't work. And you know why it doesn't work? I'm so glad you asked, because most people who are murderers who go and kill people don't think that they're going to get caught. You see, if they thought that they were going to get caught, they wouldn't do it. So do you think that because you're murdering people, executing people in your state, that somebody who wants to be a killer in your state is not going to do it because they're going to say, hey, wait a minute, I might get the death penalty? No, that's not how they think, because they don't think they're going to get caught. They think they're too smart to get caught. But then when they get caught, it's a different story. So it doesn't act as a deterrent. It doesn't deter people from crimes and even murder. That's what it doesn't do. So to me, the death penalty is useless. And here's the thing. There are so many people, I'm sure, that have lost their lives while they were innocent. And how do we know this, Queen Ahmadiyyah? How can you say that many people likely have lost their lives and they were innocent but executed? Because from the year 1979 to 2008, if I'm correct, or 2009, 2008, or 9, there were 208 exonerations from the death penalty, from death row. And most of it was due to DNA testing, which they didn't have in some of the cases previously, because the people had sat on death row for so long. So with that all being said, if they exonerated 208 people in that length of time, how many people do you think went to the to be lethal, have lethal injection done to them? Because in most states you still use the electric chair. But however, how many people do you think were possibly innocent that were executed? Because if those 208 people had not been exonerated through DNA testing and other means within that time frame, they too would have been executed. And if they find out that someone was innocent after they've executed them, are they really going to come out and admit that? Are they really going to come out and say something? No, they're not. The only thing they'll do is 70 years from now, then they'll say, oh, we want to clear this person's name. 70 years later, when that person and probably most of the family members that were alive at the time are all dead, like they did with George Stinney, the 14-year-old Black boy accused of raping and murdering 2 little white girls back in the day. And then he was so small when they set him in the electric chair, he had to sit on a Bible that he had been reading. And then now, like 76 years later, they come out and clear his name. He's not here to see it. What are you clearing it for? You already did what you did. Is that how they tried to wash the blood from their hands? I have questions. But see, this is what happens. This is what happens. And they wonder why we stay mad. And they love talking about angry Black woman, angry Black men. Yes, I'm mad when I hear this kind of bullshit, and you should be too, because the Bible even says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. So who is supposed to be happy when you see that your people are being oppressed? Who is supposed to be happy when you see that your people can get killed on the sides of roads by officers, even when they're unarmed at a traffic stop? But then you see those same cops pull over a white person who's doing something nefarious, even has a gun on the seat, and the officer's talking to them so nice. Sir, could you please put the gun down? John. They'll even call them by their first name once they find out what it is. John, I don't want to shoot you. Could you please take your hand off the gun? They don't give us that mercy and grace. They have guns 9 times out of 10. So this is what I'm saying. This stuff ticks me off. Okay, it ticks me off. The end of the day, Leon said, I'm mad too. That's right, as we all should be. But let me continue. I don't want to stay on this too long because it's going to make me infuriated. I'm going to raise my blood pressure and all of that. Okay, so goes on to say, in an extraordinary move condemned by civil rights activists and lawmakers across the U.S., Missouri's Republican Attorney General Andrew Bailey pushed forward with the execution against the wishes of the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Williams was convicted of the 1998 killing of Leisha Gale, a social worker and former St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter. Now, he was accused of breaking into Gale's home, stabbing her to death, and stealing several of her belongings. But no forensic evidence linked Williams to the murder weapon or crime scene. And as local prosecutors have renounced his conviction, the victim's family and several jurors also said they opposed his execution. They said we must all question any system that would allow this to occur. Yes, we should. Yes, we should. Now, the execution of an innocent person is the most extreme manifestation of Missouri's obsession with finality over truth, justice, and humanity at any cost. This is what Tricia Rojo Bushnell said, Williams' attorney. Okay, said in a statement just before the execution, saying, "Tonight we all bear witness to Missouri's grotesque exercise of state power. Let it not be in vain. This could never happen, and we must not let it continue." Like, this right here is really pissing me the hell off. Like, I feel like I'm in the somebody waiting on a slave revolt. Seriously. I feel like I'm somebody waiting on a slave revolt to start, because when are we going to stop allowing these things to continuously happen? At the end of the day, we need to be speaking out, spreading awareness. We need to be actively just paying attention to these things. And some people aren't going to notice this story because of all the bullshit going on with the Diddy. Yes, the Diddy stuff is salacious. It's juicy news and all of that. It's interesting to talk about and report on. But at the end of the day, this is what we need to also focus on, stuff like this. This is also sad. Our people are dying, okay, at a disproportionate rate for things that are just all caused by a corrupt and insidious judicial system in this country. And Black people really, we don't need a slave revolt, but it just makes me feel like that's probably how the slaves felt when they revolted. It's exactly how I'm feeling right now. It's probably exactly how they felt. But at the end of the day, we need to be spreading awareness. Another thing too, when I was going to school for law, one of the things I also did was work with the Innocence Project. And those of you who follow me on TikTok, you'll see that the charity that I support is the Innocence Project, because this is what you have to do. Try to fight for people who can't fight anymore, people that are behind bars. Okay, all of you, like I told you all when I did my tribute or my commemoration for Black August and the revolutionaries who are still in prison, some of them languishing away, who'll never see the light of day, and they've been in solitary confinement for decades just to be torturous to them. This is what they do. Or for the ones that fought and died, the ones like Ahmadiyyah Shakur who had to go seek asylum elsewhere. You should be trying to write to these peoples, reach out to them, send them a few dollars when you can, because these people risked their lives. In many cases, they fought for us to have a better life. That's what many of these people did. When you think about it, no matter what society says about them, we shouldn't worry about what the status quo says about our people, specifically our revolutionaries. At the end of the day, I cannot count how many parole letters I have written for revolutionaries who are behind bars and been there languishing. And they don't want to let them out. They only let Dr. Marcellus Shakur out when they saw that he was about to die. That's what they do. Just slow down and nefarious. But let me continue. So with that all being said, they go on to say that Williams, who served as the imam, I don't know what that is. I hope I'm saying it right. I don't have my glasses, but in his prison, and dedicated his time to poetry, twice had his execution halted at the last minute. He was days away from execution in January 2015 when the Missouri State Supreme Court granted his attorneys more time for DNA testing. And then in August of 2017, Eric Greitens, the Republican governor at the time, granted a reprieve hours before the scheduled execution, citing DNA testing on the knife, which showed no trace of Williams's DNA. Now, that's very important. This man had to have been innocent. How do we know that? Why is that very important? DNA on the knife. His DNA was not on the knife. Can somebody tell me why Okay, thank you. Support the Art says Imam is the minister in Islamic faith. Thank you, beloved. I knew it had to do something. I figured at least that it had to do something with him being a Muslim. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so now can anybody tell me why it's so important that they said that there was none of his DNA on the knife? Can anyone figure why that would be so important, such a pivotal and such a pertinent aspect of the case? Here's why. Because for one, if you stab someone that many times, they said she was stabbed like 40 something times. So if you stab someone, if anyone stabs someone that many times, there's no way your blood or something of your DNA shouldn't be on the weapon. There's no way. There's no way, no trace of your DNA should be on the weapon, even if you cleaned it off, wiped it off, or whatever, unless you thoroughly used bleach and did all of this and that. But at a crime scene, when you're in a rush, you're trying to get out of there before you get caught, who has time to think about all of that? So they said there's no blood on the DNA. That's almost impossible for someone who stabbed that many times. Because when you're holding a knife, a weapon, anything sharp, and you're stabbing someone over and over and over, the blood from the victim splurts up. It gets on the knife. It gets on your hand. Even if you're wearing gloves, it gets on the knife and it gets on your hands. And then guess what happens? Your hand starts to slip and slide, and you inadvertently start cutting yourself. You inadvertently start cutting yourself. And so there will be your blood and their blood. And none of his blood was on the knife. Well, that's because he didn't stab that lady. Okay, he didn't stab that lady. Now, of course, you could say he could have been wearing gloves, like in the case of OJ, but I just think he absolutely didn't do it. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, and here's the thing. Usually when somebody stabs somebody to death, that's usually a crime of opportunity. Because if anybody plans a murder, they usually bring a gun so they can get it over with quick. First of all, stabbing somebody that much is too messy. And it's, you have a bigger risk of getting caught because it takes you longer to do it. And you're up close and personal with them so they could scratch your face, get your DNA under their nails or anything. So that usually is a crime of opportunity. When somebody went in somewhere trying to break in and steal, the owner comes home or they're still somewhere in the residence and you didn't know it. And now you can't leave a witness. So what do? You're looking for a weapon and you grab a knife that's close by. That's usually how that works. Not in every case, but in many cases. But let me continue. So it goes on to say there was no trace of his DNA on the knife. Now, Gretton set up a panel to review the case, but when Mike Parson, the current Republican governor, took over, he disbanded the board and pushed for the execution to proceed. What a wicked, nefarious devil. Okay, I'm going to say a special prayer for him tonight. I promise you I am. And for those of you who follow me on the spiritual channel, y'all know how I get down. I'm going to pray the prayer of David over him. I sure am. But let me continue. And my prayers get answered. Okay, please pay attention. Now, in January, Wesley Bell, the Democratic prosecuting attorney in St. Louis, who has championed criminal justice reforms, filed a motion to overturn Williams' conviction. Bell cited repeated DNA testing, finding that Williams' fingerprints were not on the knife. Now, they say Miss Gale's murderer left behind considerable physical evidence. None of that physical evidence can be tied to Mr. Williams. Okay, new evidence suggests that Mr. Williams is actually innocent. He also asserted that Williams' counsel at the time was ineffective. Additional testing on the knife, however, revealed, and he probably had a darn public defender. Because most Black people can't afford a darn attorney for a homicide when you're fighting a murder case. Who can afford that? 9 times out of 10, the average person working a regular job can't. So anyway, it goes on to say additional testing on the knife, however, revealed that staff with the prosecutor's office had handled the weapon after the killing, touching it without gloves prior to the trial. A forensic expert testified that the mishandling of the weapon made it impossible to determine if Williams' fingerprints could have been on the knife earlier. And in August, Williams and prosecutors reached an agreement to halt his execution. Now, he would plead no contest to first-degree murder in exchange for a new sentence of life without parole, which would have been better because at least he'll be alive. So his lawyer said the agreement was not an admission of guilt and that it was meant to save his life while he pursued new evidence to prove his innocence. A judge signed off on the agreement, as did the victim's family, but the Attorney General challenged it and the Supreme Court blocked it. Why did the Attorney General do that? Why would you challenge it? Even when the own prosecutors and the family of the victim, see, this is something that usually wouldn't happen. If the family of the victim says we're fine with it, if the prosecutors say, listen, we don't think he did it, you have to be a real nefarious, low down, dirty snake in the grass to challenge that. And that goes for the Supreme Court and the Attorney General. But let me continue. So last-ditch efforts by both Williams' lawyers and St. Louis prosecutors were unsuccessful in recent days. In a plea over the weekend, Bell's office said there were constitutional errors in Williams' prosecution and pointed to recent testimony from the original prosecutor who said he rejected a potential black juror because he looked like he could be Williams' brother. The jury that convicted him had 11 white members and 1 black member. 1 black member. The governor also rejected Williams' clemency request on Monday, which noted that the victim's family and 3 jurors supported calls to revoke his death sentence. The U.S. Supreme Court denied a final request to halt the execution on Tuesday, with the 3 liberal justices dissenting. The Attorney General argued in court that the original prosecutor denied racial motivations for removing black jurors and asserted there was nothing improper about touching the murder weapon without gloves at the time. Bailey's office has also suggested that other evidence points to Williams' guilt, including testimony from a man who shared a cell with Williams and said he confessed. You can't listen to jailhouse snitches. Jailhouse snitches always have an ulterior motive, 9 times out of 10. They usually do. So goes on to say, and why would he confess to him, of all people? Okay, please. And testimony from a girlfriend who claimed that she saw stolen items in Williams' car. Did she produce pictures or anything to substantiate her claims? This could have been a bitter ex. Some people are that hateful that if you break up with them, diss them, whatever, they would rather see you behind bars rather than living your best life. So that means nothing to me. So goes on to say that Williams' attorneys, however, contended that both of those witnesses were not reliable, saying that they had been convicted of felonies and were motivated to testify, by a $10,000 reward offer. Yeah, that's a motive. Okay. Bailey and Parson have not commented on their decision to override the wishes of the victim's family. Well, they're not going to comment likely because they don't have a logical explanation that makes sense to anyone other than themselves, because they're devils. So that's the real reason they did it. But have pointed to the fact that the courts have repeatedly upheld Williams' conviction throughout the years of appeals. What does that have to do with anything? Bushnell, Williams' attorney for the Midwest Innocence Project, praised Williams' evocative poetry and said that he had been a kind and thoughtful man who spent his last years supporting those around him in his role as the imam. Now, while he yearned to return home, he is a thoughtful man who has worked hard to move beyond the anger, frustration, and fear of wrongful execution, channeling his energy into his faith and finding meaning and connection through Islam. The world would be a worse place without him. Now, Jonathan Potts, one of Williams' attorneys, told The Guardian on Monday that the case would create further mistrust in the criminal process. The only way you can create public confidence in the justice system is if the system is willing to admit its own mistakes, and they're not. We have an infallible system, so why would you have the death penalty? Because one mistake could cost an innocent person their life. The public is seeing the justice system as its most dysfunctional here. Or at its most dysfunctional here. Michelle Smith, co-director of Missourians to Abolish the Death Penalty, said she considered Williams a mentor. In an interview before his execution, she says, he means so much to so many people. He's a friend, a father, a grandfather, a son. He's a teacher. He's a spiritual advisor to so many other young men. Smith said that she hoped his case would help the public understand that capital punishment doesn't work. I've been telling people this for years, since I was in college. It doesn't work. It's not a deterrent from crime. It can cost an innocent person to lose their life, and once it's gone, you can't bring them back. I know people who say we shouldn't kill innocent people, but other than that, I believe in the death penalty. But if you believe in the system at all, that means you're okay with innocent people being killed because the system isn't perfect. That's right. It absolutely isn't. It's going to kill innocent people. Now, Robin Mayer, executive director of the Death Penalty Information Center, said she was unaware of another case in which someone was executed after a sitting prosecutor objected and confessed to constitutional errors that undermined the conviction. Right, because that usually doesn't happen. Now, since 1973, at least 200 people sentenced to death have been exonerated, according to her group. See, that's the statistics I told you all. I said I think I said 1979, but it was 1973. Okay, so at least 200 is actually like 208, and that's where I got the information from the Death Penalty Information Center. That's where I got a lot of my research on the death penalty from when I was in college, and also from Supreme Court Justice, who's now deceased, Anton Scalia. And also from former President Barack Obama, who at the time was he wasn't at the time, but at some point he was the president of the Harvard Law Review. And I used to use a lot of the Harvard Law Review studies as well. But let me continue. So it goes on to say that Williams's execution is one of the 5 scheduled across the U.S. in a 1-week period. On Friday, South Carolina executed a man days after the state's main witness recanted his testimony. The state's witness recanted their testimony. So are they admitting that they lied? Clearly, they're saying there was something wrong with what they said, but they still executed that man too. This is all sad. This is absolutely egregious. Okay, this is absolutely egregious. This country, at the end of the day, this country is the worst. I don't care what anybody says. The United States is the worst country. People talk about they come here to have the American dream. Honey, this dream is a nightmare, okay, for people who look like me anyway. This is all so sad. Anyway, let's move on to the next story before I sit up here and start crying, and I'm not even joking. Okay, likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. So that all being said, let's talk about young Dolph real quick, because I want to get into that whole thing with Kabami, and I just want to let it sizzle in my spirit, support the arts as I go in on Kabami again. Okay, but so in the meantime, between time, let's talk about young Dolph, because I absolutely cannot believe that one of the killers literally said that after killing young Dolph, he received about $500 and then later got $300. So you killed this man, you took his life. This man who was somebody who was well known, whom many people loved and admired, had children, a family. You took his life for $800, and you got to be a broke arse ninja to think that $800 is worth taking anybody's life. Even a dog or a cat's life is worth more than that. It's all crazy. Like, I don't know what's wrong with some people, but I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this report. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. This is so heinous.
I'm grateful to have experienced him. And I'm grateful that the world can see him for who he truly is, not the persona that most people saw him as for being, but for who he truly is.
What a darn shame. So let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. So here's what they say. So late rapper Young Dolph was killed in an alleged hit that was taken out on him, according to prosecutors and one of the alleged hitmen. Cornelia Smith, one of the people charged in relation to the killing of the rapper, testified in a Tennessee court Monday afternoon, saying he participated in the hit of the rapper because of the promised payout. Smith said he and Justin Johnson, another suspect in the shooting whose trial started on Monday, were set to receive $40,000 each. with Hernandez Govan, the man prosecutors say was the mastermind behind the killing, receiving $20,000. Young Dolph, born Adolph Thornton Jr., was shot and killed on November the 17th of 2021. The rapper was well known for his feature on OT Genesis' 2015 song "Cut It" and singles "Get Paid," 100 Shots, Major, featuring his cousin and fellow rapper Key Glock, and R&B, featuring Meg Thee Stallion. And so anyway, with that all being said, let's go to the footage of the guy that testified. So they thought they were going to get $40,000 each. That's real crazy because who's paying that kind of money for a hit? I mean, the most you get for a hit is usually about $10,000. Okay, if we just go by reports and stuff that we've been able to find out, this is all so crazy. So I'm going to pull up this clip from the trial proceedings, court proceedings.
She's for you.
When our middle class is strong, America is strong.
Joke's the money man calling the shots. Quit puts you and Justin together.
Right.
And you and Justin are cool with each other and interact with each other over the months. You said at least 5 times. You're trying to, now we're back after the murder, you're trying to get your money.
Right.
You're having conversations with Justin, is that correct?
Yeah, I was teasing the phone like, you know what I'm saying? I need their money for the party, you know what I'm saying?
Are there times that you're trying to communicate with Justin and in fact you're communicating with somebody else?
I ain't know it, you know what I'm saying? It's time I ain't know.
Okay. Did you come to find out that Jamarcus Johnson had Justin's phone after the murder?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I found out after I got locked up.
When you were communicating with Justin, okay, these times when Jamarcus had his phone and doing 3-way stuff or whatever, what was the substance of those conversations?
Well, first time I was on the way back from Atlanta, and he said he had got a little package from his homeboy so we could have some money in our pocket or whatever. And I was coming back from Atlanta, so I like, I like 2 hours out. So I like, man, I don't want to just put it in the mailbox. But he said he had a letter with it too. And I know it'd be too many folks in my dad's neighborhood still be seeing what put in the mailbox and go back. So I told him to get to the lady in the door who like a grandma figure to me or whatever. And he gave her $500 in a letter.
$500 in a letter.
Yeah.
And obviously you're supposed to get $40,000.
Right.
But you got $500 in a letter.
You saying right here, yeah.
And what was the substance of the letter?
Saying that Juke said if we get caught up, he gonna make sure we have the best lawyers and all that old stuff. We hot right now.
And this first payment is when you get back from Atlanta.
Yeah.
How did you get into Atlanta?
Me and my girl went out there. After they found the cop, we went on out there.
Okay. Get scarce.
Yeah. I got scared. I got on them.
Did y'all drive out there?
Yeah, we drove out there.
Stay in a hotel?
Yeah, stayed in a hotel.
About how long were you gone?
I was gone a couple days. I ain't had any more money on me.
Don't have money, you gotta come back.
Yeah, I gotta come back.
And you come back, do you pick up that money from the old woman?
Yeah, I picked up the money from her, and I saw how much it was. I'm like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You could spend that on pills in one day, I bet.
Yeah, that's over. Yeah, I could bet it.
What'd you do with the letter?
I flushed down the toilet at the hotel room.
All right. Is that the only time you got any money from Justin?
Nah, a couple days later, I was in the city or whatever, and he was saying that he was gonna have his folks pull up on me, bring me some money or whatever, hold me down. So dang, he been pulled up about 20, 30,000 leave, you know what I'm saying? But I had my girl to get at the cop, and she met the person that was driving on the street or whatever. I had her to have her face mask on, and she said they had their face masks on, so we don't know who it was, but they gave her $300.
$300.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is from Justin's folks.
Yeah, this from Justin's folks.
All right, so now we've been paid about $800.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is there any other payment coming?
All the payments stopped then.
All the payments?
Everything stopped.
Is there any time that you or your girlfriend or anybody received a large payment?
Nah.
I think we all want to be understood in relationships.
Now that's just a goddamn shame. He thought he's gonna get 40,000 with his stupid self. He should have known that was all cap. Nobody's paying $40,000 for somebody to get murked these days. Like I said, the going rate is gonna be about 10,000. Now, with that all being said, he sat up there and got $800, and now you're gonna spend the rest of your life, possibly, if not all of it, a huge chunk of your life in prison. Stupid. Okay, idiot. You only got $800. And the person said they're going to look out if y'all get jammed up or whatever. Is he looking out now? This is all so stupid. Here's the thing. These were amateurs, because if you were professional hitmen, clearly they weren't, they would have known to get at least half of the cash up front. Okay, so if they told you 40,000, they should have given you 20 upon arrival. Sorry, so stupid. And then another thing is, you know, you could easily get played in a scenario like this, because if they don't give you the money, what are you going to do? Snitch? Go to the police? There's nowhere to go unless you're going to just take them out. But at the end of the day, still not going to have the money. So this is all ridiculous. But of course, DZ said it's the village idiots again. Yes, absolutely, it is. It's also ridiculous, honey. At the end of the day, I absolutely cannot. But anyway, let me continue. So with that being said, let's talk about Kabami. Why Janet Jackson doesn't like her arse, okay? Because there's a very good reason. Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Kamala Harris MJ trial comments is the source of Janet Jackson's beef. She said some greasy stuff about Michael Jackson, okay, when he was on trial. I knew she was a witch with a B. Janet Jackson's issues with Kamala Harris might go further back than this presidential campaign, because the Democratic nominee's past commentary about Michael Jackson's child molestation trial is resurfacing. Now, in the wake of Janet's criticism of Kamala, in which she inaccurately claimed the vice president's father was white, that's not inaccurate. Her father is white. He's Irish and Indian. What are y'all talking about? Sit down, Harvey Levinstein. Okay, I always called him Weinstein. Now, Harvey Levin. Now, footage from 2004 popped up on the internet showing then San Francisco Deputy Attorney Harris sharing her 2 cents. So let's get into it. Hold on. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to show this because it's TM to the Z, and I don't want any copyright issues. So what I'm about to do is I'm just going to send this real quick over to my other phone so I can play it, and so you all can hear what she said. This is all so nefarious. Okay, this is Kabami for you, though. Is anyone surprised? Because I'm not. Kabami doesn't care about black men. She never has. At the end of the day, she was only playing Marcellus Williams when she was dating him, just to see what all she could get her hands on. Okay? Or whatever she could get going for herself. That's just honestly what it was, as far as I'm concerned. All right? So let's listen to this. This dirty heifer. Okay, please pay attention. Please pay attention. Let me just put this overlay on the screen. There you go.
In general, the child will be able to recall and recollect with some detail the incident, and that is persuasive to a jury, even if it is the only testimony that is available.
Hold on, beloveds. Oh, I didn't mean to put that on the screen, honey. That's for something else I got for y'all. But anyway, with that all being said, that's not the whole thing of what she said, I'm sure. But so basically, from my sources that I looked into, my little research, Kabami wanted to prosecute it. She wanted him prosecuted, and she wanted to be in on it. Okay, so anyway, goes on to say Michael was arrested in 2003 and charged with 7 counts of child molestation and 2 counts of administering whatever. Okay, Harris's remarks about such a dark moment in the Jackson family history might explain why Janet is trying to discredit her. Janet's not trying to discredit her. Janet didn't say that she was not suitable for the job. Janet just said that she heard she wasn't black, that she heard her father was white. And Janet likely heard that from her father's own mouth. He said that he's Irish and Indian, which technically wouldn't make him white, but it also darn sure doesn't make him black. Okay? It makes him of mixed race or biracial. But anyway, goes on to say, so it goes on to say that, mind you, Harris was not involved in MJ's trial. She was merely speaking to a news outlet as an expert. Now, in contrast, Donald Trump had spoken favorably about the late singer on a number of occasions, even defending Jackson's character after his arrest. So I want y'all to pay attention, support the arts. That's what I want y'all to do. Well, y'all be sitting there trying to go in and know what did Trump do for black people, but y'all can't name a damn thing Kabami did for black people, so sit down somewhere. And you would think that she'd be more prone to do something for black people since she claims to be black, right? But oh no, it was Trump who was defending Michael Jackson. So what say you to the court? Okay, the defense rest. But let me continue. Or shall I say the prosecution rest? Because I'm definitely here to prosecute Kabami in the courts of public opinion. Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, it says, in contrast, Donald Trump has spoken favorably about the late singer on a number, that means multiple occasions, even defending Jackson's character after his arrest. Interestingly, the false racial narrative Janet brought up about Harris echoed Trump's words on the campaign trail. Well, you can be too mad and so sad. Okay, Harvey Levin, the rest of TMZ, and the rest of these Kabami supporters who are clearly pressed. Remember back in July, Trump falsely suggested his rival happened to turn black a few years ago for political gain. Whatever. Harris was born in Oakland, California in 1964 to immigrant parents. Her mother, Shamala Gopalan, arrived in the U.S. from India, and her father, Donald J. Harris, came to the country from Jamaica. Still don't make him black. Stop trying. See, I want y'all to pay attention how they always tie her father to Jamaica. They never say anything about his Irish ethnicity. They never say anything about his Indian ethnicity. They keep putting him in Jamaica, trying to make him black, thus trying to make her black as well. Neither of them are black, so miss me with it. Now, I don't give a damn if she looks black. Just because you look black don't make you black, okay? Rachel Dolezal looked black. She looked black enough to fool people that she was black, okay? So miss me with it. There's people out here who blackfish, okay? Robert Downey Jr. looks black in the movie that he was in with blackface on. So I'm sorry. It's because you look black and act black. She don't even act black for one. But even if she did, that still wouldn't make her black. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Harris has not yet responded to Janet's remarks. And despite repeated debunking of the theory, Janet's not walking it back. Don't walk it back, Janet. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So what say you, Kabami supporters? What do y'all have to say? What do y'all have to say? Okay? And at the end of the day, Kabami don't even represent black people in no aspect of the game. She has a white husband. She has all white kids. They're her husband's kids. She doesn't have any. But you know what I'm saying. And she doesn't represent the interest of black people. Because now I'm not going to do anything for black people specifically now. Let's be very clear about that. Say what now? But she did stuff for other folks. I'm sorry. I can't rock with her. That's what I can't do. But let's talk about it a little further because Whoopi Goldberg defended Janet, so they say. Whoopi Goldberg says Janet Jackson deserves grace amid backlash for Kamala Harris's remarks. Anna Navarro says singer spread misinformation and was irresponsible. Right? She wasn't irresponsible because she told the truth. The only one spreading misinformation is anybody falsely claiming that the witch is black, because she ain't black and never gonna be. I don't care how many people say it. I don't care how many people say it. And here's the thing, they're not even giving any thought to the fact that Janet recently lost another brother. Tito Jackson just died, and they're going in on Janet. Yeah, I have a whole problem with that. Okay, so let me continue, honey. Over Kabami's Biach Ace. I'm sorry. Make it all make sense. Anna Navarro said on The View that Janet Jackson spread misinformation when she said to The Guardian in a viral interview that she was once told Kamala Harris is not black. How is that misinformation? I want y'all to think about it. How the hell is that misinformation when she said she was once told? So if somebody told you that she was black, or that she wasn't black, and then you repeat and you say, somebody told me she wasn't black. She didn't specifically say, no, she's not black. She said, I was told she wasn't black. How the hell is that misinformation? You gonna tell Janet what she was told? You see, it would only be misinformation if nobody actually told Janet that. And if that were the case, how the hell would Anna Navarro or anybody else saying that it's misinformation, how would they know that? Y'all paying attention to this bullshit? Because I want y'all to put on your critical thinking hats. You see, when you don't put on your critical thinking hats, you don't catch little stuff like that. All right. How the hell is that possibly misinformation if she just simply said, I was told that she was black or that she wasn't black? And that is what she said. That is exactly what she said. Okay. This is all nefarious. But let me continue. So goes on to say, she says that she spread misinformation. And then Jackson earned widespread backlash for the ill-informed comments. So look, this is what Whoopi says. Look, I think Janet, like every other American, whether you're a celebrity or not, has a right to endorse, support, or not support whomever they want. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what Navarro said. She's got every right not like Kamala Harris if she wants to. What she did was spread misinformation, and I think it's very irresponsible when you have a platform the way Janet Jackson does to use the platform carelessly to spread misinformation based on a racist allegation by Trump. That's what I told you all. Didn't I tell you all yesterday that they keep trying to pin that bullshit on Trump? They keep trying to act as though Trump's the one who came up with the theory that the bitch ain't black, when in fact it was black people who started it, and Trump just mimicked our talking points. Because during the last election cycle, when she was actually running for president, did Trump say she wasn't black then? No. You know why he didn't say it? Because most people weren't saying it, except for me. I was saying it even back then. But in 2019, when she was on that debate stage, nobody was saying it. And so Trump didn't say it. Trump only started saying it when he saw that we were saying it, because he probably was thinking, if anybody know her ace ain't black, it's black people. So I told you all days ago that they want to pin it on Trump so they can keep on saying, oh, it's racist comments. They want to tie it to racism, because what they try to do, the Democrats that is they try to make everything so divisive. That's what they do. And they want to blame it on Trump and say Trump's divisive. Well, he may be, but so are the Democrats, is all I'm saying. They want to make it like divide and conquer. You see, if we can get them to feel like this all started because of Trump and his racist agenda, then everybody's all mad. Okay? That's how that works. When in fact, Trump didn't even start it. We did. Trump didn't even start it. We did. And like I told you all days ago, they don't want to give us the credit for starting it, because then it looks even worse. You see, it doesn't look so bad for Kabami if they put it on Trump, because everybody will say, well, Trump's racist. He just doesn't like her. So that's why he's saying she ain't black. When the truth of the matter is, they're only saying that about Trump because it fits their narrative. Because if they had to come out and admit that black people disproportionately are saying that she ain't black, that makes her look like a whole fraud. Because if anybody knows who the hell black people are, it's us. Some of us anyway support the arts. Just want y'all to pay attention. Juju said exactly, Queen. Thank you. Okay, support the arts. Said you're right about that part, Queen. Oh, I am. Well, thank you. Support the arts. Okay, so with that all being said, That's exactly what they're up to. They think they're so slick. Now, Whoopi wasn't as quick to slam Jackson, asking viewers instead to show the singer some grace. Now, the EGOT winner admitted herself that she had spread incorrect information in the past and called it a pain in the butt. This is what Whoopi said. She said that she herself spread misinformation when celebrities are asked to speak immediately on current events. Sometimes people get it wrong, she says, and they're wrong. They made a mistake. They were wrong. It happens. Anybody who says it doesn't happen to every one of us, multiracial or not, we all do it. So, okay, a little grace for the girl. A little grace for the girl. Yeah, okay. Yeah, give her some grace, but it wasn't no misinformation. Now, in her interview with The Guardian, Janet spoke about the upcoming election and said the following about Harris. Well, you know, what they supposedly said, she's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. When informed that Harris is both black and Indian, Jackson pushed back and asserted that the presidential nominee's father is neither. So she told the gospel truth. See, this makes me love Janet even more. Okay? I love Janet Jackson, honey. I don't care what nobody says. I always have and always will. The Jacksons, the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, my favorite, of course, Reba Jackson. Yes. Okay, so, but here's the thing. Do you all remember when Eve came out and admitted that Janet Jackson saved her from possibly getting grapes or something bad happening to her? And for those of you who missed it, let me go to my previous video that I did months ago, sometime last year. Likes up, everyone, please like and share, when I was talking about Diddy. Just saying. Maybe Diddy was jealous. I don't know. But what I do know is this. Eve shared a story once when she was on Sharon Osbourne's show, and she talked about being at a party, a celebrity party, and how someone put something in her drink. Who does that? Or who have we heard does things like that? All right, it just reminded me, the whole story that Eve tells is just a short, brief clip that I'm going to play for you, but the whole story that Eve told to me reminded me of what the young lady said about Kanye and Diddy. Please pay attention. That's just what it sounded like, but I digress.
Years ago, I was at an after party for an award show, and there were lots of people I knew there. It was all people that I was in the industry with. So I was kind of walking around and putting my drink down, talking to people, coming back, picking my drink up. And then in about an hour, probably an hour after the last time I had picked my drink up, I started feeling crazy and not drunk. I knew immediately something was different. And it was weird because I was there, but I wasn't there. And I started saying, I forget who I was with, but whoever I was with, I kind of tapped them on the shoulder and was like, something is wrong. And they were like, no, you're just drunk. And then I started hysterically crying. And they were like, okay, something's up. And I get put into a room and I'm crying. And I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. And I hear this really soft voice that's like, it's okay, I'll take care of it. And I'm like snot crying, y'all. And I turned around and it's Janet Jackson.
Wow.
And she's like, I got this, don't worry, relax, calm down. And I am so ugly when I snot cry. And I was so embarrassed. And I was like, I didn't want to meet you like this.
That was the first time you met her?
First time I had ever met her.
You left an impression.
First time.
That's right.
And I was so embarrassed. But now
And so that's why I love Janet. I sure do. Absolutely do. And at the end of the day, Kojima says, Queen, the Jacksons were rumored to have protected some artists from even the mob just for suckers like Oprah to hate on them. Yes, I heard that too. I absolutely heard that too, beloved, years ago. So what I'm saying is, and Michael Jackson, let's not forget, was the one who told us about some of those nefarious people in the music industry, okay? Michael Jackson was the one who told us that Tommy Mottola is the devil, and he is, in my opinion. And also, Mike was the one who did that song, They Don't Really Care About Us. He was letting us know that they don't. And yeah, they don't. Okay? And at the end of the day, the bottom line is, Michael was absolutely innocent. He was acquitted of all of the allegations, only for low-down dirty dogs like Oprah and Gail to come out years later and act as though he really did it. And then for Oprah to have people on her platform to lie and say that he did it. Now that Michael's not even here to defend himself, yeah. I can rock with it at all. I cannot rock with it. So that's why I love Janet and the Jacksons. Okay? With that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like and share this video. Don't forget, doesn't cost you a single thing. Just a simple like and a share to show your appreciation for all the Queen's hard work. Okay, I've done 4 videos today. All right, and I'll be up bright and early to do it again. All right, and so we'll be on the spiritual channel tomorrow at some point. Today I didn't get to it because I had so much going on. Okay, Trish says, I wonder why Oprah hasn't jumped on the Diddy story. Well, here's the thing. Oprah was once good friends with Diddy, and she partied with Diddy. Is Oprah on some of those FO tapes? I have questions because I've already shown you all with receipts that Oprah and Diddy was getting down, hanging out and all of that, partying. I showed y'all the pictures of them at parties. So, maybe that's why she's not saying anything, because she got nothing to say, because she doesn't know if Diddy has her arse on any of those videos or not. Because remember, the feds haven't finished going through all of them. So they only got some of the people thus far. They haven't finished going through all of them, according to Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo. All right. I cannot wait to find out the rest. Support the Arts, says, Queen, you're doing a great job. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. All right. So with that all being said, listen, I love you all to life. Hold on. Mommy says she was probably doing the recording. Said she was probably doing the recording. Okay. Either her or her best friend, Kale. And I said Kale. Okay. So with that all being said, listen, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this night. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got